Welcome to the rundown from Down Under. My name is, of course, Buddy Pulley. I am in a makeshift studio in my childhood home in Wheaton, Illinois. Obviously, I went to the street race today. Seth, who normally co-hosts this with me, is off at Mid-Ohio at the IndyCar race. Lame. Um, but obviously, big day for us fans of Shane Van Gisbergen. He's 2 for 2 at the Chicago Street Race. What a day. What a day. What a race we saw. He put on a show for us, and we need to thank him kindly for it. As you can see, I got nation's flag in the background. Repping big. I was repping big all day in the city. But we'll get into that later. Let's talk about this race. We say on the show all the time that SVG and Kyle Larson are the greatest race car drivers in the world. And if you don't believe it after today, then I don't know what to tell you. They put on a clinic. I mean, they together are proved to the world that NASCAR belongs on street courses. If there was any doubt at all whether or not NASCAR belonged on a street race, even after last year, they put that to bed. I mean, it was an incredible show for them. Larson, honestly, I mean, he put up a good fight with Shane there for a while, or so it seemed. Seth actually texted me this earlier. He said it seemed like Shane was just playing with his food when he was running behind Kyle. It didn't really seem like it seemed like he had the power to go when he wanted, and we've seen that out of Shane quite a bit, especially in his 2 wins earlier this year. But Kyle Larson said the same thing. He came on the radio early in the race. He said, "I don't really know what he's doing. He's just playing with me at this point because I'm terrible at X, Y, and Z corner, and he just kind of just studies me." And I think that really speaks to Shane's racecraft. I think Shane he enjoys the racing aspect of racing, if that makes any sense. He enjoys competing against the best of the best, and Kyle Larson is, despite what we say on the show sometimes, specifically last week, Kyle Larson is the best of the best when it comes to NASCAR, and he's not too shabby on road courses. But Larson, even he was he got on the car today, and he said he learned a lot from Shane, and the vibe I got from it is that he actually decided to run this Chicago Street Race in that 17 car, to run with Shane Van Gisbergen and learn what he can learn. And we've talked about this before, and we talked about this when I talked to Jeremy Taylor. I did a 3-hour show with him talking about his racing story, and he's a team member at College Racing. He went into detail a little bit more in part 2 of the talk we had with him about how Shane, as much SMT data as you can read, you can't learn what he does without watching him do it while in a race setting, essentially. And there's a lot of things that just driver ability and driver technique that can't be matched by anyone. But it seemed like Kyle Larson showed up today with the agenda to race with Shane Van Gisbergen, learn what he can learn, and obviously he needs it, because tomorrow they're gonna run. Larson's starting on the pole. Shane was extremely fast in practice, starting 5th. It's gonna be quite the battle tomorrow as well. Sorry, I've got my little postage with my notes for today. Yeah, I mean, it was a battle all day with those two. Even when they got back in traffic through the strategy, they continued to fight, and Shane, fought through the field a little bit better than Kyle, and I think that was at least a difference maker as far as when the cautions fell and things like that. the battle though, my favorite part about it was hard, but it was clean. They showed a lot of respect to each other. Larson and Shane, they both are two drivers that, like I said just a minute ago, enjoy the actual racing part of racing. And that showed. And you saw Shane, going down Lakeshore Drive, after him and Kyle have this epic duel. It's kind of like Shane gave him the Red Baron salute, stuck his thumb out the side window, gave him a thumbs up, and Shane was gone after that. But it was just a cool little moment to see two of the goats showing that much respect for each other after a spirited battle like that. And that's something that I think gets lost a lot of times. We saw last week, the games that were played on restarts, and how, there's a lot of finger pointing and this finger, not that finger, at drivers just for racing hard. And these are two drivers that appreciate hard racing and enjoy doing it. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, that's all I really have for that, as far as Kyle and Shane. A couple things to note throughout the actual race. AJ Allmendinger crashed. That was shocking to me. Obviously, Shane's teammate. They've been extremely successful in road courses before. Colleague and AJ have, and that was just crazy to me to see AJ Allmendinger crash. It happened right in front of me, and that was yeah. All I can say about that is that's shocking coming out of AJ. But it shows how, to me, that at least showed how high the talent level and how high the bar was set for this race. Obviously, with Kyle and Shane, they put on a masterclass. Ty Gibbs is extremely good on road courses as well, and it just showed that, like, everybody's pushing it a lot more, and it's something to be said, because AJ sometimes hadn't been challenged on road courses before. He was the Shane Van Gisbergen. He had a leg up on the competition, and that's something that I think AJ is feeling, and I think the entire field and Xfinity and even Cup a little bit are feeling like, okay, this is an animal that I've never encountered before, and I'm gonna have to push more and in different ways than I ever have before. Shane, just in general, it was a masterclass performance by him. He, like I said earlier, it seemed like he was just playing with his food when he was a predator playing with his food, I think is how Seth put it. But when he wanted to go, he went. They got put off on some strategy. I think it was the right strategy call, just for the wrong race. It was the wrong field, at least. Obviously they got put back in the pack after, I think it was stage 2. Shane got a stage win today, which is good, because I mean he's going to be in the playoffs. He now has 15 playoff points attributed to winning 3 races, and he needs all the playoff points he can get so he can go compete in the playoffs. But back to the strategy call, they got put back in the pack there, and that was one thing I was a little bit worried about, because I know how the end of these races can get. We saw it last weekend with the Cup race at Nashville. It just gets batshit insane, and you're out. That's when the race. That's the thing I worry about the most with Shane. Is I come on here, and sometimes Seth gives me shit because he's like, "It's Shane. You don't have to worry about him." But that's that's not what I'm worried about. It's everybody else I'm worried about, and that was what kind of got me nervous, was him having to drive through the field and knowing that they know he's coming, and they know they got to figure out how to hold him back, and also just the amount of mistakes that are made when these guys in the Xfinity Series, because we got to remember it is a feeder series, make at the end of these things, especially that one guy in the 21 car. But yeah, other than that, I mean, really, let's go ahead and get into the top 10 results, and then we'll close this biddy out. Taking a look at the top 10 from the NASCAR Xfinity Series Loop 110 at the Chicago Street Course, it was obviously Shane Van Gisbergen getting his third victory of the season. This win propelled Shane from 13th to 11th in the Xfinity Series point standings. That's big for regular season reasons. He needs to get inside the top 10, and he gets an extra bonus point for that, or accrues more bonus points for how high he can get in the regular season standings. Ty Gibbs was the one who finished second today. He put up a good fight against Shane, but he was no match in the end. Kyle Larson, obviously we saw the spirited duel between them. He comes home in third. Parker Klugerman comes home in the fourth position. Jesse Love, who was Shane's final pass for the win, was in fifth. Connor Mozak in the first run for the Junior Motorsports 88 finishes sixth. Obligatory fuck Austin Hill. He finishes seventh. Joe Ilagano replacing Haley Deegan this weekend. He finishes eighth. Haley Deegan could never. Justin Allgaier finishes ninth, and another solid top 10 finish for Austin Green. So, as you guys know, I was at Chicago today. I had high hopes coming into specifically Saturday. And they were all met. I saw a spectacular show. I saw Shane, at his best, and he obviously won the race. I was sitting in right before you get to turn 6 on the straightaway. I think it's South Columbus, and I mean those last few laps were nerve-wracking. I know I've mentioned it before on the show when he won Portland and Chicago or Sonoma. That my nerves are through the roof, and I think I quoted one time I was like my mother when she was watching Dale Jr. She'd have to peek behind the wall because she couldn't watch the race because she was too nervous, and that's kind of how I was today. I didn't want to watch, but I had to watch, obviously. But he won the race, and I'll be honest, I was damn near in tears. I was so excited. Obviously I'm repping the garb, and I had the overtime restart there. I pulled out the flag, and we flew it high. So if you guys happen to see it on the last lap, let me know down in the comments. But yeah, it's crazy to think how much honestly my life has changed since Shane won in Chicago. I mean, it's definitely changed this channel a lot. Obviously, this show doesn't exist if he doesn't win that race. If he finishes second at that race, this show doesn't exist. Plain and simple. But we became enamored and fell in love with Shane after last year's Cup race, and I'm obviously have my drivers. I have Daniel Suarez, big, love him to death. He's, obviously have special, sentimental attachment to him. But, when Kevin Harvick retired, he was my favorite driver. I didn't know really what I wanted to do. I didn't know who to pull for. I was a little lost. And I think, I found a good pair with my mi amigo Daniel Suarez, and then, the natural just fandom that's grown of Shane Van Gisbergen. I don't know, man. It's a really cool feeling to have, and today was just a very, very special day for me. Tomorrow, the Cup race. I got high hopes. I'll be honest. He looked really good in practice. He was up there in the top 2 or 3. Qualifying, he qualified 5th. Not terribly worried about that. I think as long as he can avoid the chaos and the car stays together, I think we're going to see a lot of what we saw today. I think we're going to see Kyle Larson and Shane Van Gisbergen going at it, and it's going to be quite the show. So make sure you guys, obviously, you guys are going to tune in. But if you're not already, go do that. Other than that, that's all I got. I don't have a video of the week this week. Well, we don't have a video of the week, at least in this video. We'll see what tomorrow holds, and that will determine when the show comes up. The second part of this weekend show comes up. But I do have a video for you guys to go watch. If you haven't watched it already, I put up a bandwagoner's guide to the Chicago street race. And I go in depth about, you know, some of the history of NASCAR in Chicago, and you know, the race last year and the impact that it had on the sport. And then obviously I go through the entire field and, you know, give my analysis of each driver and where they're at and what their expectations are coming into this race. I think I've gotten a lot of compliments on it, so I appreciate it if you guys go and watch that, and it'll hope you learn a little something and get you up to speed for tomorrow's race. But other than that, what did you guys think about this race? I mean, obviously it was. If you're watching the show, you're a Shane Van Gisbergen fan, or, you know, a supercars fan that's proud of their boy. What did you guys think of this race? I thought it was an absolute banger. I thought it was a nice departure from the shit show we saw last week in Nashville. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Please, please, please subscribe. We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers here. We don't really, by the end of the year is our goal, but you know, any time before that would be great, because we can do even more things and, you know, provide better content if we can get to these milestones. So other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and go Shane. We'll see you after the Cup race.